Okay, let's get the conversation around some of the big stories around the world of business. Juliana Layinka, as usual, is in our London studios bringing us up to speed this morning. Good morning, Juliana. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Bosun.
Yes, it's very interesting how the UK government has decided to save this airline, Flybe, this regional airline, but it looks like some folks are not too happy about it, and they say perhaps rail should be a better regional connectivity. So why save Flybe? What's this contention all about out there as we speak?
Well, the contention continues to grow. Yesterday, it was announced that Boris Johnson's government would be saving the regional airline Flybe. It's the biggest regional airline in Europe, and it serves about 8 million passengers a year. We already heard yesterday Willie Walsh, he's the outgoing CEO of IAG, the parent company that owned British Airways. And this morning, they've actually filed a complaint to the EU saying that the government's bailout of Flybe is in breach of state aid rules, and they're pointing to the fact that Flybe have got some really lucrative owners. Virgin Atlantic are a huge shareholder, and on top of that, Virgin Atlantic is co-owned by Delta Airlines, which is one of the most profitable airlines in the world. So they say, you know, you don't need taxpayers' money. You could have asked their shareholders to cough up more money. Also as well, even though Flybe do have 8 million passengers, it is regional. The government are already spending £100 billion to build HS2, which is a really controversial airline, taking passengers from London to many of the provinces around the UK. But it's a balancing act. Of course, Boris Johnson got an overwhelming majority in December's general election, and provinces that wouldn't typically vote for him did come out in their droves to vote for him. And this is really what some people are saying, a payback to show those regional areas and those regional passengers that this government is willing to make them a part of London and keep them connected. So very controversial, but we'll see what happens in days to come.
So let's move from aviation to high street, where the reporting season for the last period of 2019 is still out there. Primark says its Q1 sales figure was higher than expected, but there are question marks somewhere there. What is this question mark all about? Juliana, do you know?
Do you know what, Bosun? I've been actually looking for this question mark, but no, you know, Primark, they're owned by the British Associated Foods, so it's not just Primark. They've got a lot of groceries and clothing wear underneath their umbrella. And the fact that this group, the umbrella group for Primark, have shown that their sales rose 4% in the 16 weeks to January the 4th, has been partly attributed to their other areas. But look, you know, the Primark fever is still going strong. When a lot of high street stores are closing down their shops and sacking employees, Primark seem to be, you know, beating the trend. They are wallet friendly, you know, throwaway fashion, and that seems to be growing. They have dived under in recent years, but recently it seems as if, especially in the run up to Christmas, they were having more people in their stores. They also announced this morning that they will be opening 18 more stores across the UK over the next 12 months. So you've got store closures on one hand and the decline in the high street. And on the other hand, Primark seems to be remaining tall. So it's good news for them. And this morning, their shares were up 4% on the announcement of those results and the fact that they'll be opening more stores. So the question mark is, where will those stores be? But all in all, it's a good day at early trading for Primark's umbrella.
Yes, well, good news for them on High Street. Well, BHS chief Chappell is not the one smiling at the moment because he's got a lot of issues with the authorities regarding the pension schemes and what have you. How much trouble is Chappell in really at the moment? What does he really face and why?
Well, the minimum amount of trouble he is in is to the tune of £10 million. And really, this has been a back and forth battle. Again, this is the start of the decline of the high street, because BHS, which was British Home Stores, a really loved, well-known department store in the UK. It was owned by the retail magnate, now the kind of embattled guy, Sir Philip Green. And it was going under, it was collapsing. And during a discussion between him and this entrepreneur, Dominic Chappell decided to buy BHS for £1. pound, which I believe is about 450 naira today. He bought it for that price, and 13 months later, the department store collapsed, losing about 11,000 jobs. And there was also a pension deficit of £573 million. So 19,000 people who had left BHS and were still part of BHS were part of this scheme. The government's pension regulator got involved, and Sir Philip Green ended up putting £375 million in that pot, but there was still a lot of money outstanding. Dominic Chappell said, you know, he's not as wealthy as Sir Philip Green and he didn't have the money, but the regulator said he had to pay £10 million. He decided to appeal, and he has lost his appeal. So now he has to pay £9.5 million to that massive pension deficit. A lot of people saying that's, you know, a really small amount considering there was still nearly £200 million outstanding. So not a great day for him. He still has a lot of other court cases that are still ongoing too.
Well, you get into hot waters with the regulators, I get scared, either as individuals or whatever. I just don't like it. But again, that's the beauty of the financial market. That's the beauty of regulation. Keep everyone on their toes, ensure transparency, accountability, and ensure that people's monies are well taken care of. So we need those regulations and regulators. Thank you so much.